see. They'll be calling me, they'll be calling me royalty. Best to give me loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, they'll be calling me royalty.
This is not about mine. You just want the king's position, don't you? You may be the king, but don't forget we build this empire. A king make an empire. An empire does not make a king. And a queen belongs to her kings only. Us, father. Their obsidian's eyes burned with an unspoken vow. This will not happen. Vine's engagement is in 2 days, and so in her wedding, whether to Ricardo or someone else. Rage surged through them, their bodies trembling, veins bulging at his challenge. No one will dare touch our woman. Tomorrow, before your eyes, we will marry her. Mr. Joe clenched his jaw, watching his sons defy him with terrifying audacity. He shot them a deadly glare, but then they stormed out, leaving behind a silent room. 3 Jeons were sitting in the living hall, radiating a dominant aura. Their sharp eyes were fixed on the stairs. Just then, you descended slowly, step by step, and their intense stares locked onto you. Nervously, you moved forward, but a deep, sharp voice suddenly halted your steps. Stop right there, Ryan, he commanded, sitting with his legs spread apart, dressed in all black. You slowly turned toward him as all 3 Jones stood up from their places and took calculated steps toward you. From today, you won't be going to college. His words sliced through the silence, making you look at them with widened eyes. Their expression remained unreadable as they stared at you. But why, Oppa? Dad already gave me permission. He spoke tensely. Jungkook poked his tongue against his cheek before speaking. After a girl gets married, who becomes her guardian? He asked in a deep, dark voice, raising an eyebrow. You frowned your eyebrow in confusion. Her husband, you whispered, clenching your dress in your face. Just then, Jimin grabbed your jaw, his dark orbs sending shiver down your spine. Then listen to your future husband. A smirk stretched across all 3 of their lips. Your palm grew sweaty and your heart pounded against your chest as the relation hit. You were getting married in just 2 days. Did he say, I can't go to college, I need to talk to him? The 3 Jeons frowned, exchanging glance before shifting their eyes back to your tense face. Who are you talking about? The one that chose for me. Wedding is in 2 days. Your voice laced with hurt, but instead of responding seriously, all 3 of them let out a mocking chuckle. Oh, so father told you? Well, the one you selected is no longer in this world. He smiled as he spoke, and her eyes widened with shock. What? Then who stopped me from going to college? I mean, who are you talking about now? We stopped you, little lady. From now on, you will take the online classes at home. He brushed his finger against the tip of his nose, a mocking smirk playing on his lips. But why, Oppa? Dad already gave me permission. Your words were cut short when all 3 of them shot you deadly glare. I seen you have been asking a lot of questions lately, Princess John. He spoke with a poker face, slipping his hand into his pockets. You swelled hard, intimidated by their dangerously dark expressions. From today, you will attend your classes from home. Your eyes welled up at thought of being caged inside this giant mansion. But Oppa, I always have multiple guards with me. What's the problem? Your voice was barely above a whisper, but they all heard it clearly. Jimin exhaled deeply, closing his eyes as if controlling his temper. When we say you won't stop out of this mansion without us, it means you won't. His voice was calm yet laced with an underlying danger. Your eyes turned moist as you lowered your head, realizing you had no choice but to avoid them. Now come with us. He grabbed your soft wrist harshly with his long finger and started walking, but before he could take another step, you spoke. Where? Taehyung turned his head slightly over his shoulder, his dark orbs spinning you in place. To the company. The word rolled off his tongue coldly as he continued dragging you along. Jungkook and Jimin followed closely behind. Just as you were about to step outside the mansion, Taehyung's step suddenly halted. His phone rang, and with his free hand, he pulled it out of his pocket. The moment he heard the voice of another and his eyes widened. What? You sat in front of your father's grave, tears streaming down your face, when suddenly your life took a sharp turn. The person you loved the most disappeared from your life. And it would not be a lie to say that Mr. Jeon loved you too. His words may have been rough, but his actions spoke louder, revealing the love and care he never voiced. The 3 Johns leaned against their car, arms crossed over their chests, their sharp gaze fixed on your fragile, grieving figure. Their expressions remained unreadable, hard and cold. Father stormed off to the penthouse that night in anger, and by morning he was dead, his brow furrowed as he looked at the other two. Who managed to kill him despite all that security? His jaw clenched, fury flashing in his emotionless face. Just then, Jimin's phone rang. He listened to the voice on his phone, and before cutting the call, the papers are ready. Jungkook and Taehyung exchanged glances before turning their attention back to your weeping figure, giving each other a nod. I will get her. Sliding his hands into his back pocket, he walks toward you, stopping right behind you. Mayan, his voice is deep, sharp, commanding, but you don't turn to him. Instead, you wonder how the three of them remain so unshaken by their father's death. How their faces don't hold even a sliver of grief. Let's go, Mayan. His voice reaches your ears again, and this time you slowly rise to your feet. He sighs deeply before gripping your shoulder and turning you around. Your tear-streaked cheeks and red eyes come into his view, making him pull out a handkerchief from his pocket, holding it out to you. Fix your face, we are getting late. You take the handkerchief from him, hesitantly wiping away your tear. You don't know why or where they are taking you, but in this state, you don't even have the strength to ask. Taehyung grabs your wrist, leading you to the car. Let's go. Taehyung nods, and the four of you get into the car. Jimin in the driving seat, Jungkook beside him, while you and Taehyung sit in the back. The car stops in front of a massive company building. You step out, your face pale. The three jocks slam the car doors shut, adjusting their suit before walking inside with you. Employees bow as you pass, but you don't acknowledge them. But you are still too lost in the pain of your father's death. The Jeon, with their unreadable expression, lead you into an enormous office. Finally, he huffs, collapsing into a chair, crossing his leg on the table. Jimin does the same. Taehyung sits on the table itself, legs spread as he checks the paper lying there. Meanwhile, you stand before them, your head lowered. The paper are perfect. Wine signed them. He places the paper on the table, leaning back on his palm, his eyes fixed on your shaken figure. Jeon, Wine. His voice is sharp, authoritative, making you snap out of your trance. You look at them, stepping forward to pick up the paper. What is this? You mumble, your eyes scanning the text, and then your breath hitches. Your hand trembles as you point at the papers. These are marriage paper. Your voice shakes with disbelief. Jimin unbuttons his suit jacket, lifting his face so that your horrified expression hovers just above his own. Yes, little lady, now sign them. You gulp, your heart pounding. Marriage right after your father said, how could they even think of this? But Opa, your voice gets stuck in your throat as you flip to the next page, and that's when your soul leaves your body. Why are all three of your name here? There must be some mistake. You hold up the paper, trying to make sense of insanity, but Jungkook at least spin an object on the table, his expression indifferent. The papers are completely correct, Princess John. Your brows knit together in confusion as you run a shaky hand through your hair. But it has all three of your name. How can I marry all of you? You have no choice. In this underworld, there is no one else who will protect you. He brushes his finger through his hair, his voice deep, expression blank. No, that's not possible. I am your sister. You take a step back, being horrified. Both Jungkook and Jimin slowly turn to you, their jaw clenching. Stepsister, his voice is cold, cutting through the silence. Your breath catches. Yes, you were their stepsister, but still, how could they think of this? How could they want to marry you? But Oppa, you don't need to marry me to protect me. You can do it in other. We want you, Princess John. His voice is dark, filled with possession. The ground beneath you feel unsteady, your body trembling. Why your voice barely whisper coming out, but the three of them chuckle darkly. Their smoke dripping with something dangerous. Because you belong to us. The mere thought of you in someone else's arm makes our blood boil. His deep voice sends chills down your spine. Slowly, realization creep in. Wait, does that mean all three of you love me? Your voice waver with, but the next second they burst into laughter, cold, cruel, deadly. Love? What even is that? It's barely been a week since we returned from abroad, and you think we love you? So, why the sudden marriage? Because even before we left, our sincere heart had already caged you inside them. His smile deepens. Jeong stepped off the table, adjusting his shirt with a slow, deliberate motion. And now this arm want to cage you completely. Our soul want to own you. His words dripping with possession. Your chest tightened. This felt like a nightmare. Your throat is dry. You can barely swell. And now we will claim you legally. He rises from his chair, gripping the papers as he strides toward you. Sign them. No, I won't marry you. Take another step back, but their deadly bloodshot eyes remain locked onto your tear-filled ones. But we will marry you now, Payan. Now sign the papers. I won't sign them. I refuse to marry any of you. The words take everything in you to say. Your heart hammers in your chest. Your fingers clutch onto your dress. You have no choice. You are our Jeon. No, I'm not yours. You step back further. Just then your back collide with the cold hard wall. They smug at your trapped figure. Your forehead damps with sweat. Your tear-streaked cheeks burning under their suffocating gaze. You look so vulnerable, yet you refuse to submit. Why I am saying last time, sign the papers or face the consequences. His voice is straight, sharp, and merciless. Tears threaten to spill from your eyes, but you gulp them down. No, I will never marry you, you yell, furiously shaking your head, and then bang. A deafening gunshot echoes through the room. Your breath catches as your eyes fall on the Taehyung. His arm is bleeding. A painful groan escapes his lips as he gripped the wound. Jimin lowered the gun, his expression unreadable. Sign them or else. He slowly turned the gun toward Jungkook. No, please don't. Your entire body flinches as another shot rings out. This time Jungkook clutches his arm, blood seeping through his suit. Your legs begin to give out as you stumble forward. Stop, Opa, why are you hurting them? Your voice cracks, your soul turning into desperate pleas. You do not chase them anymore. You do not drag them hard because of you. I told you, why and sign the paper or I will fill this room with bodies. Just then a guard enter and go. Boss, before he can finish, a pain yell cleaves his lips. We fall to the ground, clutching his bleeding leg. I'm not joking, Vine. Anyone who steps in her here will die because of you. His gun moved toward the door, his finger tightening on the trigger. Just as the manager enters, Jimin gets ready to pull. No, I will sign them. I will sign them. Just stop. You scream, your entire body trembling. Jimin smirks, lowering his gun. He slides the paper toward you. Go ahead. He holds out a pen. Your hand trembles violently as you take it. Your chest heaving with soap tears blur your vision as they drip onto the paper. With a final gulp, you press the pen down and sign. Your life once again turned into a nightmare in a single day. Good girl. He takes the paper from you. And then Jungkook and Taehyung stand up straight, their bleeding arms forgotten. Your entire body stiffens. You're wound, but your voice barely above a whisper as you stare at them in shock. A dark chuckle left from their mouth. Such minor found mean nothing to gangster like us. Your eyes widen in shock and burning with rage. You were faking it. You stormed toward them, fury pouring from your gaze. Taehyung merely raised a brow, amused by your audacity. Proud on us, are not you? You successfully trapped you. He chuckled mockingly, and your clenched you face. Their mocking face was picing you. You fell right into our trap, wifey. Your jaw clenched at wifey word. Are you mad, little lady? He towered over you, but you turn your face, refusing to look at him. He clenches his jaw before gripping your chin, forcing you to face him. Eyes on your husband. I don't accept you as my husband. You glare at them, voice firm. Jungkook steps forward, his stomach deeping. Whether you accept it or not, you are our now, only our. They smirk mockingly. Now let's go home, wifey. He grabs your wrist, dragging you forward. Jimin walks ahead, Jungkook follow behind, and just like that, you are theirs. Taehyung had one hand in his pocket while the other firmly gripped your wrist, dragging you toward the car. Just as he reached the door, Jimin turned back. I will go check out the new mansion you take up. Taehyung gave a nod and Jimin drove off in the another car. You narrowed your brow in confusion. New mansion? Since we are husband and wife now, we will live in different mansion. A new life, a new mansion. He chuckled darkly, your face twisted in anger as you struggled against his hold. I am not going anywhere with you. Let me go. I don't want to stay with you all. You hissed, thrashing in his grave. Taehyung merely watched you struggle with an unimpressed look. I don't want to hear your whining anymore. He tightened his hold, dragging you to forward. Just then, Jungkook was about to enter the car when, in a fit of rage, yanked off your pencil. He hurled at the car window, shattering the glass. Both Jungkook and Taehyung fell sharply, controlling their anger. Jungkook turned his gaze to you, his dark, obsidian eyes sending shiver down your spine. Take her in another car and drop her in my room. His voice was deep and dangerous. I need to teach this brat some manners. Taehyung gave a nod before dragging you to another car. There were 3 parked vehicles. One now had broken window because of you. A guard rushed off to get another car for Jungkook. Inside the mansion, Taehyung slung you over his shoulder, ignoring your struggle with figure. Put me down. I'm not going with you. You are not my husband. You pounded your fist against his back, but his rock hard body did not budge. Once inside a large bedroom, he dropped you down. You stumbled before dashing toward the door, but before you could reach it, Taehyung grabbed your wrist and yanked you back, pinning you again. You are being such a bratty wife toward your husband. His intense glare bore onto your as his single hand effortlessly locked both of your wrists. You are not my husband. I don't accept you. You spat in anger. A logic left from you. Taehyung's lips. Look at you, Princess Jeon. You used to be too scared to even speak in front of me, but after becoming my wife, you have gotten bold. He smiled, his thumb lightly pressing your cheek. That's because I have seen your true face now. You forced me to sign those papers. You gritted your teeth. Young Joe glanced as his eyes flickered to your lips. A sincere smirk stretched across his face as his thumb moved to rub against your lower lips. This pretty mouth disrespecting your husband. I only told you are not my husband. You are just my brother. At your words, the young expression darkened his jaw clenched so hard his veins in his neck visibly pulsed. Don't you dare to call me that again, John Ryan. His voice was laced with pure rage. I will, brother. You provoked me for this. Before you could react, he grabbed your wrist and dragged you toward the dressing table. He picked up a small box from the table. Will you be up for breath? He opened it and pulled out a pendant. This will always remind you who you belong to. His deep voice sent shiver down your spine as he moved behind you, pushing your hair aside. I don't want anything that belonged to you. You glared at him through the mirror. Consider it a wedding gift. He ignored your protest and fastened the pendant around your neck. You immediately grabbed it, attempting to rip it off, but before you could, Taehyung gripped your hand with one of his own and leaned, whispering darkly into your ear. Don't force me to handcuff you just to make you wear it. Your heart dropped. He smiled at your pale expression before locking the pendant in place. Then he turned to you to face him. That pendant looked even more beautiful on your neck. His eyes stayed your collarbone as a JTH initially gleamed against your skin. Your jaw clenched as realization struck. He had marked you. It's beautiful. He leaned in. One of his hands locked both of your wrists to keep you from pushing him away. My lady's face is erected. Before you could react, he picked you up in his arm and threw you onto the bed. Your breath hissed as he reached for the button of his shirt, slowly undoing them, revealing his toned abs and hard chest. Then he climbed onto the bed. You can't do this, let me go. You slapped on his chest with your tiny hands, but he only glared down at you before leaning in closer. I can do anything to you. His nose brushing your neck, nailing your sand. No, you can't. You are nothing to me. Don't provoke me again and again. I'm your husband. Just as his lips were about to crash onto you again, the door swung open. Taehyung cursed under his breath and turned over his shoulder. Jungkook stood at the door, casually leaning against the door, his face completely unreadable. Continuing, he smiled, wiggling his brows in amusement. Taehyung scoffed before getting off you. I don't give free shows. He walked into the bathroom, slamming the door shut. Jungkook rolled his eyes before walking toward you. You set up your face red because of crying. Your body trembled. Come with me. It'll get time for you to go to your other husband's room. He smirked before picking you up in his arm. You are not my husband. I don't accept you. You glared at him with your red eyes. A dark chuckle escaped Jungkook's lips as he carried you out. Wait until we reach my room, then I will show you exactly who you belong to. Jungkook enters the mansion with you in his arm, his gaze locking onto your face, twisted with anger, yet your eyes glisten with unshed tears. Leave me, I want to stay with you all. You slap his chest as you struggle, your voice laced with defense. He rolled his eyes, clearly annoyed. You are bind to us now, little kitten. His smirk whistling you onto the bed before hovering over you. His eyes dropped to your sullen lips and wicked green stretched across his face. Looks like Taehyung has already had a taste of you. His thumb brushes over your lips as he speaks. He posed me. I never thought you had shown this side of yourself after that. Your voice trembled with anger as you grit your teeth. Jungkook would twist at your words, his grip tightened around your jaw. This is the real face of your husband, little kitten. His obsessive gaze drank in every detail of your face. You are not my husband. Your voice sharpened into a yell as you try to push him away. Jungkook clenches his jaw, his hold on your face growing, earning a small yelp from you. You are disrespecting your husband, such a bad wife. His words dripped with mockery. I don't want to be a good wife. You may be a bad wife, but I am husband you deserve. I don't deserve a disgusting man like you, a man who forced me into marriage with his own sister. Your voice shakes with fury. Jungkook's eyes darken, his piercing gaze locking onto yours as his hand wrapped around your throat. You are my woman, not my sister. His deep, dark words make you gulp. I'm not your woman, Oppa. You delicately use the word, knowing it pushes him to the edge. His eyes blaze with fury as he glares at you with bloodshot eyes. You really have the audacity to call me that? I wish I had shown this audacity sooner, Oppa. The words keep pushing him further into madness. His grip on your throat tightened, brushing your delicate skin. Don't piss me off, Ryan. His voice dangerously low, his teeth clenched, but you were ready to push him further. Because watching him lose control somehow dulls the pain inside you. Papa, his rage explode and your eyes widen. A gasp left your mouth when he gripped your dress just above your cleavage and ripped it apart in a blink. He harshly pulled the torn dress off your body, throwing it onto the floor. You instinctively cover your exposed body with your arm. You now clad in nothing but a pair of black lingerie covering your private parts. How dare you! You scream at him, your cheeks burning with embarrassment. Jungkook only smirks shamelessly, his eyes devouring every inch of your exposed skin. Now I will show you who this body belonged to. Don't touch me and let me go. This is wrong. You thresh against him, your eyes filling with tears. And resisting your husband that is not wrong, he whispered against your lips. He leans back, reaching for something. Will you quickly pull yourself up, curling your knees to your chest? Your body trembles slightly, but your eyes tense as you glare at him. He approaches with a small box in hand, sitting down beside you. Give me your hand. He pulls out a beautiful bracelet adorned with tiny diamonds, spelling JJK. You scoff, realizing this is just a way for him to claim you, like you are his possession. I'm not an object that you can mark with your name to claim ownership over me. Jungkook rolled his eyes, harshly grabbing your wrist and forcing the bracelet onto you. You are the most precious thing in this kingdom, and you belong to me. His voice is eerily calm as he stared at the bracelet now locked around your wrist. I will not wear it. You furiously try to remove it, but it won't budge. Frustration burns in your eyes as you glare at him. I had it made from a special strong metal. The lock only opened with a key. His smirk lingers as his gaze slowly drops again to your breath catches in your throat as you realize where he is looking. Quickly you grab a blanket and cover yourself. Jump let out a low chuckle. You look so dumb and hard. I should not have torn that little piece off too. You had looked even sexier without it. His voice is unapologetically shameless. You shoot him a glare, but before you can say anything, the door swings open and Jimin steps in. Jungkook turns to him, his face blazed with irritation. You just walked into a couple's room without knocking. Jimin rolls his eyes before his gaze lands on your bereft frame. She's my wife too. His voice is calm yet possessive. He strides closer to you, placing one knee onto the bed while the other remains on the floor, trapping you between his arms. Trying to please your other husband, lived a lady without warning. He led you into his arm. You're almost fully exposed to his views and teasing smirk dancing on his lips as he shifts his gaze to Jungkook. You barely got far. His unimpressed tone only fueled Jungkook's irritation. You barge into our privacy and then have the audacity to say that your privacy. Jimin rolls his eyes, holding you tighter as you struggle against him, your face burning with both frustration and embarrassment. I only my little kitten, whom you are taking away. His voice is laced with pure arrogance as he watches Jimin carry you out of the room. Jimin enters his room carrying your whining and angry figure in his arms. He places you on the bed and you immediately cover yourself with blanket. Jimin stands before you with a smirk, resting both hands on his vest, watching you intently. You all are doing terribly wrong. I never thought that after Dad's death, the three of you would treat me like this. You clutch the blanket tightly against your chest, your burning gaze locked onto you. Jimin runs a hand through his hair and speaks with a cold edge. We could have married you even in front of father, he said while poking his tongue against his cheek. You would not have dared with dad was alive. We fear no one. Whatever we desire, we take. His voice emotionless, his expression unreadable. Yet his eyes scan your pretty figure from top to bottom, a spark playing on his lips when he spot a bracelet on your wrist and pendant on your neck. The other two have already give you their gifts. Now it's my turn. Saying this, he pulls open the drawer of the nightstand and retrieves a box. You huff in irritation, just like the pendant bracelet. This must be something else to mark me as your right. You grit your teeth as you speak, but Jimin only smirks as he opens the box. You are quite smart. Now let me put this on you. He pulls out a delicate belly chain from the box and steps closer. Before you can react, he suddenly yanks the blanket off your body, exposing your nearly bare form to his gaze. His smirk deepens. I have a wife. His voice drips with satisfaction as he leans down, fastening the chain around your waist. The cold metal of the chain, engraved with the words in diamonds, presses against your warm skin, making you shudder. Your breath hitches and tears well in your eyes as you look at him. A last glimmer of hope flickering with you. I don't accept this marriage. Please let me go. I don't want this. Oppa. Jimin's eyes darken instantly. His expression hardens as his hands shoot up, wrapping around your throat. Don't you even dare talk about leaving me. I am your husband, whether you accept it or not. His grip tightens as he chokes you. Tears spill from your eyes. You look at him with pleading desperation. Please, Oppa, you are doing something wrong. I am your sister. You got cut off abruptly as he jerked your body on the bed, pinning you beneath him. Don't you dare call yourself my sister. You are my woman. Growl through gritted teeth, his eyes flickering from with dominance and possessiveness. His gaze dropped to your neck, marked with red and purple patches, swelled lips, bearing evidence of Jungkook and Taehyung's action. His jaw clenched. They have already marked you, and I have not even left my trace yet. Let me give you some pleasurable pain. Without another word, he attacked on your neck. You three are doing so wrong. You are disrespecting me. Your voice cracks as you stare at the ceiling, your eyes red with unshed tears. Jimin lifts his face and looked at you. I am not respectful on bed. He smirks. This pendant, bracelet, and belly chain, they are not gift, they are shakeless to me. He let out a dark chuckle at your heart tone, his nose brushing against your stomach.